Oh my God, Chloe, you need to put your phone down for a sec. You will not believe the story my friend from Seoul, Jian, just told me. It's about her parents. It's literally a real-life K-drama. I'm not even kidding. Okay, so picture this. Jian's mom files for divorce from her dad. And the reason she gives everyone is that he's this crazy, possessive husband who's insanely jealous of her namsachin. Wait, I should probably explain that. In Korea, namsachin is like a super common term for a guy friend who is just a friend. It's this whole cultural debate there, you know? Like, can men and women really be just friends? So she's telling everyone, my husband is paranoid, he thinks something is going on with my platonic guy friend. I can't live like this. She was totally playing the victim. But Chloe, here's where the tea is like scalding hot. The dad knew what was up. This namsachin, he wasn't just some random friend. He was her first love from back in the day. And yeah, they were 100% having an affair. And it gets worse. This dude was a total con artist. He was married with his own kids. He was completely gaslighting Jian's mom, feeding her this whole fantasy story while getting her to give him money. A lot of money. He was literally using her cash to support his own family. The audacity, right? So at this point, you'd think Jian's dad would be like, okay, I'm done. Divorce. But no, this is the part that gets me. He was still so in love with her. He told Jian that for 25 years, her mom had been this incredible, devoted wife. I remember Jian showing the old photos, and they looked so genuinely happy, which makes this whole thing even more tragic. He told her her wife had lived with his parents for decades and literally nursed them on her own when they got sick until the day they died. So the dad's whole mindset was like, she's not a bad person, she has a pure heart, and this absolute scumbag took advantage of her. This isn't her, I have to save her from him. So he decides he doesn't want a divorce. Instead, he goes after the other guy. In Korea, you can actually sue the person your spouse had an affair with. It's called a Sangha-nam lawsuit. His goal was just to punish the guy and get him out of their lives. The guy gets served the papers, and at first he's begging for forgiveness. But then a few days later, he flips. He sends Jian's dad this one chilling text message. It said something like, "You've completely lost this game. When I die, she's going to think you're a murderer. Do you really think she'll still want to live with you then?" And then he actually did it. He killed himself. So Jian's dad is holding this text message. This is his one piece of proof that could snap his wife out of it. But he couldn't do it. He thought showing her the text would just shatter her completely. So he went to divorce court and defended her. He let everyone, including his own daughter, think he was a monster. Anyway, the judge, seeing this absolute mess, orders them into marriage counseling. And Jian told me the first few sessions were just brutal, an absolute Cold War. Picture it, this sterile white room, a ticking clock on the wall. Jian's mom would spend the whole hour listing her grievances, her voice shaking with anger. And all the while, her dad would just sit there, silent, defeated, like a man carrying a weight so heavy he couldn't even speak. The therapist was apparently getting nowhere. Then she changed tactics. She turned to Jian's dad and said, "Mr. Kim, you insist you don't want this divorce, yet you won't defend yourself. It's almost as if you're protecting a secret. What are you truly afraid of? What would happen if you told your wife your absolute, unfiltered truth?" Jian said her dad was silent for a full minute. Then he took this long, shuddering breath, looked at his wife with unbearable sadness, and he finally recited the text message word for word. Chloe, can you imagine the silence? Jian's mom, her face was just blank. You could see her entire reality just short-circuiting. The anger in her eyes faded, replaced by this confusion, and then by this dawning absolute horror. And then she just shattered. It wasn't loud, dramatic crying. It was this silent, convulsive sobbing, like her whole body was grieving for everything at once. For the love she thought she had, for the man she had wronged, for the truth she never saw. Quietly and emotionally, the therapist left them alone, and her mom, still shaking, slowly reached across the space between them and just touched his hand. That was the turning point. So yeah, they're still in therapy, but now it's about healing together. It's insane. It's like, what even is love, you know? It's so much messier and more complicated than we think. Anyway, you want another coffee? My treat. I think we both need it after this.